Now this is our the second section on the classes and what is the classes and the objects. Basically, if we look around us, that we are surrounding with a multiple of the classes. Each object has its own identification and the functionality, and according to the type of the functionality, we uh, divided the different classes. Let's suppose the class is a contain different type of objects, and objects have own identification. Like this is a product. If product is a class, then a class has identification like name and the descriptions and the price. As compared to the this is a class, and this is the properties. This is the objects of the class. Any class have basically two things. The one is the variables, and the other is methods. Okay, the class provides means of the building data and the functionality together, creating a new class, in fact creating a new type of the objects, allowing a new instance of the type to be made. Each class instance can have attributes attached to it for maintaining lists. States class instance can also have methods defined by its class to modify its state, like its properties and its functionalities. Okay, when we do a programming of the different things, that we can also use a class. If we want to programming a room, that inside a room multiple objects, we can also programming the objects of the class. This is the syntax and the steps involving the class programmings. The first step is creating the class. Put class and the class name here, then the colon, then under statement like statement 1 up to the n. Now this is the second step, the defining init, that self. This is a built-in function for only used for the classes that define a function here. Put colon here, then initialization of these parameter which we put in here, which is also known as subclasses, as compared to the class name in here. Then this is the constructor methods to initialization of the variable. Self dot variable, put a value, and then self dot variable 2, put a value of variable 2. And one thing that I want to tell you, that we also put a variable in here, like variable 1 and variable 2. These variable basically the inner class, as compared to the parent class which we named here. Now the third step, now create the objects for the class, like p1 like class, and print the statement under the different variables. Now we have an example of a class having name of product, and its identification is name, description, and price. For Nokia, write a program on Pythons to. Okay, let's do a practical example of a class programming in Python and see how this is working. Okay, in this lecture we create a first class on a Pythons, and we put a class here, then a name of the class. In my situation, if we want to take a student as a class, then enter, then use define methods to initialize, like init methods, and to self dot put the fields related to the students, that each student, each class have a identification. In our case, that the student is a class, and the identification is like the student have identification according to name. The first is name, and roll number, and grade. Okay, now Now put the self dot name, initialization of the fields of the class, that self is equal to name, that self dot roll number, self dot roll number is equal to roll number, and self dot grade is equal to grade. Okay, now it's time to create object for a class that x is equal to, put the name of the class here. In our case, like student is a class, and in here you can put the values of like name, like the grade, and like the other things. Okay, let's name is a student is Ali within commas, and its roll number is like 12, and its grade is like first grade. Okay, now let's print. Now print the x dot for the name, and print and that x dot roll number, and a last print x dot grade. Okay, this is a grade. Okay, reformat a code, go to a code and reformat a code. Okay, that's if we run this program, and then you can see that in a result that this gave me a value like Ali, like its roll number, and like its grade. This is a simple class which we develop in Python.